Whoa. I didn't know you was recording. I thought, what the fuck is this? Throwback cams.
Looks like one of them, you know them dudes.
Oh no, why has he got Afro cone for 2 centimeters of hair?
Cam, I can't even hear you, bro. That's the funniest thing. I can't hear you.
You need a wave brush for that, bro.
I can't even
what
hear
the hell?
I can't even...
turn your mic on.
I can't even hear you. That's the funniest part of all of this. I actually can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You got them fob camera, you know them fob camera angles. Man said he's looking at this. Comes up.
You know, our clock, you got like Vegeta hairline, bro.
Yeah,
where it points down in the middle here like that.
Which day?
You got that Vegeta hairline, bro. Meets in the middle.
Hey, Cam, don't have it. You know we're recording. Don't let him talk to you like that still. Don't let him talk to you like that. We're recording. Don't let him talk to you like that. Don't have it.
Hippie in the last few weeks, fam.
That's what you mean. Oh, man.
What's about?
It's so mad. Yeah, but flipping. Listen, we're back. We are back. We're back in business. Furthermore, before we even go into intro and whatnot, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. We thought it was only right that we don't record unless we've got something valuable to say. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we could have spoke about all of this kind of incy-wincy spider stuff that was going out, but it's not what the streets want to hear. It's not relevant. But listen, now there's enough stuff to talk about. There's enough stuff to really get into. The streets have been wilding. We can get back into it. So welcome back to another episode of Stoppage Time TV. We're live, back in the flesh, live and direct, in at the Zoom, no more house party, looking clear on that. Fuad's looking like, in fact, I can't even say what Fuad's looking like because it's going to be offensive. Cam's looking like whatever Cam's looking like. My thing's all mad. But listen, we're here for you right now. You get me. Listen, what are you, man, saying? You good?
Yeah.
All blessed, man.
Love you, man. Listen, we've been waiting. Even before we dive in, we've been doing a lot of stuff, man. Listen, if you don't follow... Wait, who's someone turn off their... Can they mess up? They're booming, bro.
What was that?
Oh, yeah. No, I can hear
What was
now.
that?
No, I can hear now. If you've not been following our Instagram, 360's Instagram, you've been missing out on a lot of stuff. So make sure you're following. We've had the Now Ranger exclusive. We've had Fuad show about unpopular opinions, unpopular opinion. We've had my quiz. We've had a few things that go on in it. Like, listen, we've got a lot of stuff coming on, but it's not always going to be on the YouTube, on the audio thing, you get me? So make sure you're following all of the socials. But listen, let's get into it. First things first, where do you want to start? We can start about Germany. We can start about Troy Deeney talking the things. We can start about Danny Rose talking the things. We can start at League 2. We can start at Eto'o talking the things. There's actually a lot of stuff we can get into in a short amount of time. So listen, in fact, we can even talk about your boy Tevez, because that was interesting.
Yeah, we can get into that.
Let's get into that then. So
we can get into
that. Gary Neville was discussing with Tevez's agent, and it's mad because Klopp came out the day before saying that Gary Neville has an opinion on everything, which I find hilarious. That's actually a funny statement.
This guy is actually, you beep it. This guy speaks about everything.
He loves it.
Everything. Every day on Sky Sports. Do you know what it is? It's like Stephen A. How ESPN have got him pumping out everyday content. Gary Neville.
This guy's talking about the pandemic. This guy's talking attacking Boris Johnson. This guy, like, brother.
I'll be real though. I hope he hasn't got that Stephen A contract, because remember that time when Stephen A was on like 6-7 shows and they were giving him some meaty cash, and like this guy was Christmas Day, Boxing Day.
Working hard.
Yeah.
Gary Neville's been talking, and he's had some interesting thoughts on Tevez, about Tevez's time at United, how it ended, and how his second season wasn't as great as his first season, and how he essentially downed tools because United weren't going to renew the contract. So once he knew that was going to happen, he wasn't the same, which to me was interesting. I won't lie. I remember that team being deadly and Tevez being a key part of the forward three. I didn't really remember this kind of decline. And of course, I remembered the move to City and then him celebrating, saying RIP Fergie, because Fergie said they will never win over my dead body. But what this was interesting was it exposed a lot of stuff that I didn't know was going on. And it was only till you mentioned Cam, I said, hold on, wait, is there something that's going on here? So what's your thoughts as a United fan anyway? What's your thoughts on it?
To be honest, like, obviously Gary Neville would know more than me, and he was in the camp, you know what I'm trying to say. So if he means down tools by potentially in training and all them type of things, then I can't speak on that, you know what I mean? But Gary Neville and Tevez never had a good relationship. Yeah. So I'm not going to necessarily take Gary Neville's words for things when he's got his red hat on, and obviously someone that you will call a traitor or whatever. Once you become a traitor, you're a traitor. You're never going to get a good word out of somebody like Gary Neville. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the way I see it is, I just think Gary Neville was talking, but I think he's not focusing on what the bigger issue was. You know what I mean? If I was Tevez, even if Tevez did down tools remotely, I don't know. We went and won the league. You know what I mean? So, well, I guess he down tools pretty well. But at the same time, he was begging for that contract. He wanted to stay at Manchester United. Tevez.
My thought was always Tevez wanted to stay.
Even the celebration on the last day, right? His last game.
Tevez wanted to stay at Manchester United, and for me, that was the time of when Alex Ferguson was kind of covering for the Glazers. Do you know what I mean? Like £25 million at that point. Yeah, back then it actually did seem like a little bit of money, but when you look in hindsight, he should have been signed straight away. Do you know what I mean? That was you let Tevez and Ronaldo go for the same summer, and you didn't even reinvest that money. The next summer, you spent it on Valencia, Overton, and Owen. So we were trying to recover debt. We were trying to recover debts, and in my opinion, that's one of the biggest fumbles that we've had. One of Fergie's biggest fumbles. Fergie talks about Yap Stam and all these people. He never talks about Tevez. We let Tevez go to our rivals,
and then win the league.
He started what this is now. Because I know Robinho came in, but with all these kind of like takeovers, you get them like Anzi to Eto'o, and you know what I mean. It's okay, we hear that. But when Tevez came from Manchester United and they did the Welcome to Manchester thing, it was actually like, hold on a second. These men are actually coming. Like, these men might be coming.
100%.
The next season, he scored 29 goals, mate. 29 goals. He went and scored, right? And City, obviously, we all know Peter Crouch, Spurs didn't get them, beat them to the Champions League, which is whatever. But that's when it was like, hold on, they're coming. The next season, Carlos Tevez, Golden Boot.
Silver the year after that as well.
Yeah, exactly. And in what did Tevez do? Tevez, Golden Boot. Golden Boot that season, City finished third. They finally get Champions League football thanks to Carlos Tevez. Next season, hello Kun Aguero, hello these man. It's over from there. It's the beginning of the end.
It's slow.
It's the beginning of the end.
Hey, man said, in Dragon Ball Z when they did this thing. Man said
bro,
it's like that 25 mil that you're talking about. I remember there was a lot of the agents fee as well, because Fergie hated agents.
It was third party, innit? It was still owned by the third party, right?
Third party ownership, I think it was. So it wasn't just 25 mil. You had to kick some more money back to the agents. And I think out of a matter of like pride almost, Fergie was like, I'm not paying these agents. Tevez can go to Man City. And which is why I think he said over my dead body, because he never ever, I don't think, saw City becoming what they would become. And I think Chelsea should have been a warning sign, their project the previous years before that it could be.
That's a good start.
I feel like Fergie, he slept on what they could do. But it's not only that he slept on what they could do. I feel like when like that was literally the beginning of a slippery slope for Man United and an upward slope for them. Yeah, people are gonna say, well, we still went and won 2 league titles, Fergie's the GOAT and stuff, which is true. But that's when Rooney started going to the board like, hold on a second, you guys just left Ronaldo and thingy just left, and you've left me with this. What's going on? Then the next season we went and signed Berbatov. Berbatov had a joint golden boot with Carlos Tevez, and we won the league, right? Which is fair, but I don't know about you or any other Man United fans. I would have rather kept Tevez and not signed Berbatov, in my personal opinion. Tevez and Wayne Rooney, two absolute monsters up there, animals.
And
mate,
the thing is,
honestly,
you can't ignore the elephant.
I'm not saying that's the sole catalyst of why Man United went down, but I'm not lying. That is a big
key
reason,
moment.
It's a key moment. Yeah, people are gonna say, well, City didn't win the league until his third season, and even then he went off and was playing golf and stuff. But it's the time that it's the time that made them relevant, and really you start to look over your shoulder. Remember from 09, 010?
Yeah.
That was the maddest derby.
Yeah.
We played them 3 times. We played them 4 times. We played them twice in the Carling Cup semis. They were flipping crazy games. It's only because Rooney was on steroids that season. And then what's it called? In the league, look how we beat them last minute twice. They were coming.
I wouldn't say it's the same level, but for me anyway, whenever you have 2 major clubs, especially when it's a rivalry and a local thing, once one poaches another player, for me, there's a shift there. There's a shift in terms of respect, and sometimes there's a shift in terms of mentality. You can see the same thing when Chelsea got Ashley Cole. We were like, hold on, we're taking your players now. All right, boom, you're going to see. And yeah, listen, man, you see it happen all the time. When you take a key player from another team, especially when it's not like a free transfer or something, you actually sort something out. It's like, you know what, cool, we're gonna make a statement here. Sometimes those moments, when you look back in hindsight, are so important because that team thinks, you know what, okay, cool. We're not trying to be you anymore. We're trying to get your best players and prove to you that, listen, we are not the noise neighbor anymore. We are the guys. But it's crazy though, because obviously this is all, for me, it was an interesting topic, but it symbolizes so much that's happening at the moment. A lot of men are just coming out during quarantine and talking bare cruddery, bro. I love it. I actually love it. This is how football should be. Like, man, them should just be talking the things how they should be. You get me? Like, unfiltered, literally. Which is even a sick segue because obviously Eto'o's coming out and saying that Drogba and other men are not in his category, which is an interesting statement.
It's outlandish for me. I think to say Drogba's not in his kind of like ballpark or category, crazy. I think that when you're debating the greatest African players, those are the first. Well, Yaya Toure gets thrown in the mix as well. You can't leave him out. And then George Weah I was hearing as well. He was before my time, to be honest. So I'm not really. I can't really.
Ballon d'Or winner.
I know Ballon d'Or winner. What year was that as well?
I think maybe 1990, maybe. Oh, I can have a look, but I think it might be 1990.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I've been between Yaya Toure, Drogba, and Eto'o. And for me,
1990,
obviously, Eto'o for me hasn't he won African Player of the Year most times or something like that, record times.
He's got 4. Him and Yaya got the same record.
Okay.
Which is even one of Yaya's African Players of the Year. Like, I love Yaya, but one of them he shouldn't have. Mikel should have won it that year. But that's a topic for another day. He shouldn't have that. He shouldn't have that African Player of the Year.
The year Nigeria won the AFCON.
It was the year that Yaya Toure did nothing. Mikel with Chelsea won everything. And then big teams internationally. Yeah. And then it was kind of like, oh, how can we not give it to Yaya? We'll get to Yaya. And everyone was like, hold on. I think it's 2012. It was like, hold on. What's going on here? But no, the reason why the statement was mad because he said none of them, and he stated Diop, he was talking about Diop for Drogba. He said, can come and say they were at my level or better. And the thing we have to respect here is that when it comes to this thing here, Samuel Eto'o has done everything. He's done troubles. Like, you get me? He's done big things.
Back.
Fam, but you can't come and say that Drogba wasn't operating at like a level that you were operating.
Yeah, that's too far.
That's unruly. That is unruly.
I'm not gonna lie, like the season that.
Hold on, one second, bro. Why is Diouf there though? That's what I find interesting. Why was Diouf in that conversation?
Diouf was a big talent in it,
bro.
But
he had like a little World Cup in 2002. A little move to Liverpool where he went Bolton for a couple of years, started spitting on everyone. I'm not. You should not be in this conversation. Under no circumstances.
Yeah, he's not in the conversation. But do you know what it is with Eto'o, right? Yeah. Eto'o, if he's talking about the scheme of his career, yeah, okay, I probably think Eto'o is the best. But to say that there was nobody ever on his level, whatever. I'm sorry, in 2010 when Inter won the Champions League, Drogba was better than him. Let's not get this mistaken. Yeah, he went and won the treble. Drogba was better than him. Drogba scored 39.
Was that not the best goal scoring season?
Yeah.
And he was an absolute monster. Absolute monster.
And he even had
Eto'o.
I think he had a month off of African Cup of Nations as well. In that
exactly.
Like, balling.
Eto'o scored 15 goals or 16 goals that season. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Eto'o, but the main man at that treble was Diego Milito and Schneider.
But what I will say is you have to.
It's funny you say this because Schneider was robbed that year, innit? Schneider was robbed.
To be honest, Eto'o knocked Chelsea out of the Champions League.
Hey,
Eto'o knocked Chelsea out.
That's when he made the neck cling.
Even for me, like the Barcelona game where he said, "Yo, I'm willing to play right back just to see you, man, get knocked out." Like I like that level of pettiness from Eto'o. I love it.
Do you know what comes with Eto'o, right? Why you have to respect him is, no matter what anyone says, the reason why he always deserves that respect is, because when it comes to putting your medals down, you can put your medals down. When it comes to saying influence, without him going there and doing the big things, you got to remember, this is someone that went to Barcelona out of flipping. Look at the clubs he's played for. You get me? Like, he's not a small fry. Like, and if not for him doing that, we wouldn't see most of the strikers we see now, the African strikers, the African wingers or forwards that even go into the league and get the chance. So, like, I understand where he said that, listen, man can't chat to me in this thing. But for him to say, I wanted to be number one and I've been there throughout my career. When you went Angie, you weren't really number one, my bro. You went to go and collect a paycheck. When you came Chelsea, you're looking a bit needy. I know that was last days, but you can't come and say you're number one throughout when there was times where it was looking like, oh, bro, you might not have been top 4, top 5. You get me? Yeah. So, like, I get where levels.
Yeah, go on.
With age, I think he started to go down after that Inter Milan season, which was kind of, for me, what he did during that Barcelona period for me, I mean, it was like 5-6 years of absolute terrorization. And with like Messi, Ronaldinho, Henry, all of these guys in your team, and you're still the main goal getter, like your performances ain't impacted by all this greatness around you. Do you see what I'm saying? And with Drogba, I don't know if we can... Drogba, we can say he's had that clutch moments in the finals, but season in, season out, though, delivering the way Eto'o did, I don't know.
Nah. Eto'o's nearly 1 in 2 at like every serious club he played for. Mallorca, Inter,
even
1 in 2,
Barcelona. You only start being 1 in 2 when you got to Chelsea.
1 in 2 at Barcelona.
Yeah, you only start being 1 and 2 after Chelsea. When it was Chelsea, Everton, some Bodie, and all them teams that obviously he was just chasing the bag. It's like when he was chasing the bag, and the thing is, he was doing that young boy haircut. You know the Will.i.am haircut.
He went outside.
He went out like still. No, deserves respect. Though. There was something I wanted to ask, right, and it's because it's something it's another striker for me that's kind of went out sad. Similar to Eto'o's kind of done this whole donkey work where he's gone everywhere and whatnot. But for me, I still think he deserves respect, but doesn't get his flowers. Emmanuel Adebayo.
Nah.
In terms of African strikers, like I wouldn't say he's up there, but do you reckon he's someone that deserves flowers?
No. I think Adebayo, is the epitome of a fucking person. Every club he's gone to, what he did, it was a recurring theme. Monaco, Arsenal, City, Spurs, everywhere you've gone. You pop for the first year or first 18 months or whatever. You get the new renewed contract that you've been asking for, that you claim to be the big man, and then you fall off a cliff and you show no desire, motivation whatsoever. And I know maybe performance, people might say it's his personality or whatever, but I don't care, bro. That all factors in. And the fact that for me, you can drop off like that and he had the ability to be up there with these guys, don't get me twisted. But I think for what he's achieved, no way.
The only reason I mention it is because if you look at his serious clubs, he's essentially a 1 and 2 striker as well. That's the thing, though.
He's
and how many goals? Does he have 97? He ever has 97 Prem goals. I think he has one more than, obviously Van Nistelrooy's time was a lot shorter, but he has one more than Van Nistelrooy, I think. He has 97 Prem goals.
That's crazy.
I mean,
Well, the thing is, I think Adebayo was a good player. I think everything Fuad says right. He was talented, and on his day, bloody hell, fam. And he had ability. Adebayo, but yeah, his mental state, nah.
It's a mess.
He's a madman. Yeah, he's a madman.
And the thing is, you saw it time and time again. Like
100%.
when he left Arsenal in that manner, you thought, City, he's got the team around him. He goes around him. He goes comes to fucks out. Thankfully, Harry Kane comes through and he ain't got to worry about that no more.
It's mad because when he went to Real Madrid, he went to Real Madrid and did well.
The loan spell, he did well there. He did well there.
And they absolutely love him. I think Sergio Ramos said he's like the funniest person he's ever met or something.
That's one thing I can say is like seeing his social media stuff, I can tell in the dressing room personality. Like, he is funny. He's the person you want to be around. But on the pitch,
he's a madman.
On it, get him out the team.
But he is, back to what you were saying originally, he is the definition of a wait till January player. He's one of them players. I remember time ago, I went to go and look into it. If you look at when he signed a new contract, his performances, every time he signed a new contract, as soon as it was time for contract negotiation, oh my word, braces, man of the match performances, knockout goals, he was unplayable. But again, he's just one of them guys where he's probably not motivated by the game, he's just motivated by the money and the chase and people not liking him. But I think he hit the nail on the head, Cam. He's one of them players where if he was serious, Adebayo could have essentially been up there. Let's not call a spade a spade. He could have been up there. He could have been up there as well.
It's the application where he's missing.
Yeah.
They said Redknapp had Harry Redknapp, good old Harry Redknapp, with all his stories. He had a sick story. It was like he was in training, right? And then something happened. I don't know, I might be telling it wrong, but maybe Adebayo missed a chance or something in training. And he said something like, bloody hell, you're on 100 grand a week or something. And Adebayo stopped and was like, in front of everyone, was like, nah, I'm on 120. I'm on 120 grand. And he's like, obviously, he's the most paid at the club and everything. It was like, so he's crazy.
He's the shit, bro.
On that story, like African strikers, another Harry Redknapp one that was hilarious was when Redknapp was at Portsmouth, he had Yakubu in it. And he said to Yakubu, I think they were in a situation.
Yakubu was a driller, I don't care.
Yeah, Yakubu was
underrated king.
Listen, there's no one respects Yakubu after the miss, but Yakubu before the miss, his rating was up there. You get me? But I think the story,
bro,
from 2 yards out.
Yeah, after that, all these ratings disappeared. Like all his history. That's what he has more than 100 goals, right?
Everything disappeared.
I don't think he doesn't have.
No, Yakubu's in that. Wait, hold on.
Nah,
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he is. No, he's on 96. He's on 96.
He was even at Everton,
bro.
Portsmouth.
Why don't people say the streets would never forget Yakubu?
Hey, Flashback Friday, we're doing that. Yakubu,
the streets will never forget. Bro, people will say the streets will never forget Morgan. People will say the streets will never forget Pedersen,
Morgan Schneidlin,
Okocha, and all these names. When you got a guy like Yakubu drilling more goals than all of them, fam. The streets will never forget Yakubu, bro.
No, the story about it was apparently they were in a bad situation and he made a deal with Yakubu saying that, listen, if you get is it 10 or 12 goals, I'll give you like 20 grand or something. So now it's come to the end of the season. Yakubu's playing now. I think he needs 3 goals or something like that. I think I'm probably saying it wrong, but he needs 3 goals. He scored 2 now, and then flipping Harry Redknapp shaking in it. Harry Redknapp shaking. He misses a sitter. He comes off in it, and then Redknapp's probably forgot about it, and he's like, "Oh, why are you so upset? You've kept us up. You scored a brace." And he goes, "No, boss, listen. If I scored one more, you'd owe me like 15k." And it's like, fam, all of these African players love money, though. They love it. But flipping,
that's their motivation, man.
Real talk, man. But on Premier League, they're saying that it might come back. They're saying it might come back, which is at the German league. But there's a lot of different players that have different opinions in it. Obviously, Danny Rose has said, fuck the country's morale. I care about my family.
Fuck about the nation's morale.
I respect him for saying it. Troy Deeney's
everyone calls Danny Rose a moaner, but he says what he thinks. I like it.
I respect him because
I give him that.
Troy Deeney came out and said that, listen, if his family's going to be affected, he's not playing. Rudiger said something a while ago. Aguero said something. Tammy Abraham, I think, came out today saying that he won't play because his dad's got asthma. One, I guess the first thing is, what do you think should happen in this? And two, do you reckon that player power, we will see player power come out in this situation?
100%. 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, they're the ones that play. At the end of the day, they're the ones that play. Like, all the power has been shifted more and more to players anyway. This, for me, is so risky, in all honesty. I think, like, people are looking at the best case scenario in this and thinking, yo, if we take all the safety precautions, playing in an empty stadium, and as long as nobody's got it that's playing, we're all good. But it's like, for me, I always say things like this, you got the worst case scenario. And it just like Brighton, if I'm not mistaken, have got 3 players now still with it, type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, and they're one of the teams involved in the relegation scrap. Let's say those 3 players are now their goal scorer, goalkeeper, and Lewis Dunk. Are they really going to say, yo, we want to carry on playing, type of thing? For me, it's and the other factor that's played into it as well is the Bundesliga starting up again. Everyone's looking at that and thinking, oh, so football's allowed to play again, and we should as well then. Yeah. It don't work like that. They've got, I think, their population is 20 million more than ours, and they only had 7,000 cases. We're 20 million less, and we've had 34,000. Like, do the math.
Man, like Dr. Sebi, you know? Okay, sorry.
Hey, I had to check it out. Like, why can't we actually start off like the Bundesliga? But they've controlled it and dealt with it way better.
I'll be real.
Now they're telling us, we're going back to work and the second wave is about to hit us at 34K.
Yeah. Within Germany, from kind of speaking to people that live there and speaking to ballers that actually play there, one, their outbreak wasn't as bad as ours. And two, I think where they were lucky was they controlled it early. So even when these guys were going into train, they managed to do like kind of 5 people training and one. Remember when the footage came out and we were saying that Bayern Munich shooting looks meaty. These man weren't fit. So like they had that in it. Whereas here, people are still getting confirmed cases in their teams and you want them to play. Like, and my thing is, all right, cool. You can have no fans in the stadium, yeah, but let's be real. Football, yeah, works on media and sponsorship. Therefore, you need to showcase games for it to go live. You can't showcase games without broadcasters and journalists and whatnot. You still need people to be like hospital staff and all that, and these people in the stadium and whatnot. So what if one of these guys has it and you haven't managed to vet properly and then the player gets it and then say, man, does someone have to die before people go, okay, wow, you know what? It's a bit mad. So I think it's pretty responsible.
Yeah, I think it's like, my take from it is like, okay, so you cancelled National League, yeah, and you cancelled League 2 just now. So we just found out that League 2 got cancelled, yeah? Okay, so I'm confused. Do their lives matter differently, or how does it work? Is it because you're a Premier League footballer, your life should be at risk? Is that how it works? The better the player you are, the more at risk you should be. Because I'm confused. What's the difference? Why are you banning league football there, but you're not banning Premier League football? So doing that right now just made me say, like, you lot are money motivated,
that's it,
selfish.
That is it. That is the bottom line.
That's all it is.
That's the bottom line. All of this here, I remember. So there's this thing here. It's called I won't go into that, but it's called the Golden Triangle. Essentially, in elite sports, you have elite sports, sponsorship, media, and that's how money works, isn't it? So if you take one of those away, the whole thing's done. So obviously, you need to showcase big matches in the media to get sponsorship. All of this going on is because, hold on, we won't get money if we don't showcase something on TV. With like your non-league and whatnot, they don't have the money to put the games on, and no one's going to be watching that anyway. So like it's all mad in that sense, but it's like you can't.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
fam, I don't care. I saw Troy Deeney say something about the 4 billion something. He said something about 4 billion is how much they might lose. I don't even know, bro. One life isn't worth 4 billion, bro.
This is it, man.
Like it's one. I'm talking one life, let alone how many. And that's one footballer. Let's just say that's one footballer. We're not talking about how many people he can go and affect, the family he can affect, the knock-on effect it could have. That's it's shambles. Like, honestly, the way I'm picturing it is, okay, what actually happens if the Premier League goes ahead, yeah? And let's just say Kevin De Bruyne gets coronavirus. What happens? Don't everyone have to isolate? Anyone that's been around him have to isolate for the next 2 weeks?
Bro,
Yeah.
and it's done. Even
are we just creating new laws for football players now?
Is
that what we're doing now?
In the Championship, I think it's Middlesbrough player. His dad has just recovered from coronavirus. So imagine now you go, listen, I'm happy your dad's going to want. Listen, we've got a big game on Saturday. What? It doesn't.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't make sense at all. Doesn't make sense.
The thing is, it's like
man, we've got 8 minutes left, by the way.
All right, we've taken how many weeks off now as well, of football, and everybody, all these Premier League ballers have just been sitting at home. They're going to need at least a couple of warm-up games. I'm sorry, but you can kill me. It's already got me. And the thing, like, how do you solve the relegation, promotion, and all of that is probably what everybody's going to ask. But I said before, you don't relegate for me. You just promote the top 2 teams from the Championship and you make it a 22 league team.
So on that, bro, that's where it gets interesting.
I feel like
because League 2, with League 2 now, what they've proposed and whatnot is the teams that were, because obviously it's 4 in it. So the teams that were in automatic promotion, they're saying they go up. They're saying you still have your playoff games, and they're saying no one gets relegated. What that then means is the League 1 proposition has to match that in some way. So if that happens, what happens to the Championship and the Premier League?
I don't mind if it goes down the pyramid and it matches that way. But either way, for me to just start the season again, essentially, just for the sake of finishing it, for me, just don't make sense. I feel like players are going to pick up injuries. Some players are going to play half-hearted because they're thinking, with all this corona, I don't want to be going on. Till, for me, the death rate comes down. They're claiming they need proper PPEs in hospitals, which they still don't have. Testing is done mad and thorough. And then a vaccine is finally found. Till those things all come together, I don't think these players feel 100% like, I can come and play football like it's nothing. Till then, it's not a necessity. And I'm sorry, but this season is be ruined as it is. Let's
like, when you think about it, bro, what do footballers do all the time? They spit on the floor, bro. They spit. They do the most. I'm running. I could just be running, have a stitch early on.
Bro, imagine, Cam, you're like what? You're like what? 5'7". Imagine someone's mark you now after running for like 10 yards. Man's doing this in the back of your neck. Man's doing this in the back of your neck,
This brother just said 5'7".
Man standing behind you, marking for a corner flag, doing.
Hold on. Wait.
The way he just slid that in and tried to go horses.
This brother say I'm the same size.
Stop back for that.
I'm the same size as Messi.
Man, I'm the
same size as Messi.
Man, I'm just standing behind you, at the corner flag.
This guy said I'm the same size as Pulisic.
I'm playing. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Even what they said, what's it called? They said no tackling in training, bruv. They said Wan-Bissaka's finished in the streets.
Now, for real, that's silly. That should give you a prime example that this game is not ready. Now, Glenn Murray said they didn't say that in the phase 1 phone call or whatever. Yeah. But I mean, this restart they're talking about now, even phase 1. I'm sorry, what is it? Just a couple man walking around the pitch doing their own little isolation work. Like, that's not really training.
No, rondo. That's what you can do. You can't even do rondo. You might run into someone.
It's rondo, bro.
You got to play end to end. End to end is the only training you can do.
You cannot train. The players don't want to train. Like, you don't have the correct PPE or testing or the numbers down. Why do we need to restart this? Because of time. What do we think is going to happen because of time? Do you reckon that players won't turn up to matches? Because for me, I've been screaming for so long, and especially because of the black players. So you got to remember that black people are more at risk, innit? I've been saying for so long where we've been saying that players have power over this, players have power over the agent. We're not seeing it. For once, we may see something where players say, you know what, we're not fucking with this.
and it might change the whole level of scope of how things are. I genuinely think we may see players that turn up to match day.
Let's see who steps forward. Right now, it's a lot of lip service, but let's
Exactly.
see who steps forward. The way I see it, just really quickly, is I would void the season personally. That's just me. I've got to the point where I'm just like, either they just don't play it for a long time, or they void it. And I'm sorry, Leeds. I'm sorry, West Brom. It's no one anticipated a pandemic.
Yeah,
that's it. I'm sorry. That's the way I see it from this point going forward.
We're saying what Afro Nation thing.
Bro,
come
just cancel the
next year,
team, fam. You know what I mean? Come next year. You know what I'm saying? But nah, on the real, like, I feel like you're using football players as guinea pigs. Yeah, football is a special thing, but there's no football without the fans, bro. All this playing in front of people, no fans, and doing all this. What are you playing for? Like,
nothing.
What is going on? Like, you're just putting men out there to go and do it. Like I don't get that. You're putting men out, bro. My job are talking about, hey, you man might not be able to go back to 2021 because of the 2 meter distance, because the offices are too small.
Talk less of Premier League.
22 men are meant to be hustling and bustling, trying to win headers in the corner area and stuff. Like, this is
so mad,
21 man, whatever. This is ridiculous, man. Like, so honestly, it's absolutely
flipping. Well, listen, I mean, there's little title race going on there, but flipping, before we head out, listen, right now, pause this, go and subscribe to all of our social media. That is Stoppage Time TV Instagram, that is Stoppage Time TV Twitter, that is 360 YouTube. Go and subscribe because we've got loads of stuff coming. Might have some more sick interviews coming. We've got the quizzes, we've got the shows, we've got prizes to give away. We're not just visual.
Follow the personals.
Follow the personals as well. That's fam, it's in the link there somewhere, but that's Culture Cam, Mayo, Fuad Kadani. Yeah, man, love for all the support. I know we were gone for a bit, but listen, we're not going to come and give you mediocre content. We're only coming there to give you the real, you get me? So make sure you're following, subscribing, everything, sharing with your friends and whatnot. Listen, Rio already told you that this is, that apart from Money Heist and Love and Hip Hop, this is the only thing man's watching. So if that's a Champions League winner, he doesn't have 2 heads. He doesn't have 2 heads. So how much for you? How much for you? That's all I'm going to say in it. But listen, lads, there's less than a minute in it. So I'm going to end it. You, man, stay safe. Wash your hands, wash your ass. And yeah, in a bit.
Easy, man. Bless, bro.